Holy crap! Wow, what an ending to Monday Night Raw. Here we are, 2 weeks away from Payback. We're a few weeks removed from WrestleMania. The build for Payback is kind of a slow build, but Braun Strowman, my God. Tonight, Braun Strowman and Big Show, they put on another classic. I wouldn't say classic. It was a really good match. These two seem to have really good chemistry together. Um, I'm not typically a fan of slower paced matches in the regards of there's not a lot of quick moves, flipping up, chain wrestling, things like that. These are big men throwing big punches. That being said, Braun Strowman is that nice balance of a big man to where he's almost like a Bam Bam Bigelow. And we saw a lot of that tonight, from the kip up to the just pure power. He lifted Big Show like he was nothing. And it all culminates to the final spot at the end of the night where the ring breaks. I laugh because I couldn't help but watch the referee in every replay. Just watch him fall. Watch him fall. And it was hysterical because he was telegraphing the fact that something's going to happen by holding the rope, that top rope, and to see it backfire on him was amazingly fun for me. That being said, it looked like I watched it back a little bit. It looked like Braun cut himself somewhere on his chest, and I couldn't find where. Maybe it was one of the slaps from Big Show or something like that, or even when he hit the steps early on. Before that match, my favorite match of the night was probably the women's match. I think the four of them, even though it was kind of sloppy, a lot of the matches were kind of sloppy tonight. Everybody just felt off while doing things. That being, with the women's match, we have a new number one contender in Alexa Bliss in her hometown. Lately, I have not been a fan of multi-women matches in the sense of triple threat, fatal four-way, six-pack. There's too much going on, and I feel like it gets kind of sloppy. I like the one-on-one, let's go 15 minutes and go out there and show them that we can do what the boys can do. Those are nice. Mickie James bothered me a lot in this match tonight, and I've always been a Mickie fan. Some of her spots were really bad from the drop kick to Sasha to just some of the fluidity through her moves. I don't want to say ring rust, but it was something. Something was off with Mickie a lot tonight. And a lot of people were telegraphing stuff like, we come back from commercial break and there's Nia Jax on the outside just staring into the ring. Hide or get in the ring and do something. It looked really bad. It looked really off. I kind of think that's why we're not seeing Nia Jax. And I'm not blaming it all on Nia. I'm not. But I think that's why we're not going to see Nia in the title picture right away. The one-on-one between Sasha and Alexa, I'm not the NXT guy of our little organization. That's Jax. So we may have to reference him, but I don't think I've ever seen Sasha and Alexa Bliss go at it. And those are two of the most talented women in the division right now, from just a pure technical, kind of high-fly background. Ms. Maurice and mind you, this is not how the night went. I'm just picking and choosing because overall I thought it was a kind of show. Ms. Maurice and Dean Ambrose do a Miz TV segment. And I liked where Miz called out. No, I'm sorry. Dean Ambrose called out Miz. Is like, yeah, I lost some of, I didn't do anything with the Intercontinental title, but I beat you for it. That kind of thing. That was nice. Ambrose waited too long after folding his jacket to beat up on Miz. I feel like he just should have folded his jacket, threw it at Maurice, and beat the crap out of Miz. Wow, I'm really critical. I'm really critical tonight. I don't know why. It kind of Raw's my show. It's always been my show. It'll always be my show. But tonight, I just kind of felt like it didn't have any kind of momentum coming from last week going into next week as we get set for Payback. And I think the Superstar Shakeup messed up a lot of that momentum because the feuds that they broke up weren't wrapped up. The Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens, is the big one. Then bringing over feuds from SmackDown, Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, where you don't have Randy Orton on the show, and Bray Wyatt cuts some weird, creepy promo that he's not. If he wins at Payback, it's going to make zero sense because then you take SmackDown's title and put it on Raw, unless you're trying to legitimize the United States Championship. I mean, you do have KO and AJ Styles fighting for it. Two of the biggest names in the company, in my opinion. But that's another show. Cesaro fights Jeff Hardy, which I think was great. These four guys are just great in the ring. They have such respect for each other on screen that you can see. And I think Sheamus said it tonight. While that's the childhood, this is business, and we're taking those titles from you. So it'll be fun to kind of watch how that goes and how that transpires through the coming weeks. Well, 13 days, we'll call it. The Club is supposed to face Golden Truth. Thank God Braun Strowman destroyed them. But we got Enzo and Cass. Cass is kind of getting overshadowed by the lack of whatever Enzo's missing. He's just missing something. He knows how to take a beating, especially that finish with him and Carl Anderson, where he just bounced off the top rope and just fell. The only thing I didn't like about the match with them, aside from the lack of showcasing Big Cass and kind of showcasing Luke Gallows, this would have been better if it was an Enzo-Carl Anderson fight. There's a spot where Carl Anderson goes to give Enzo a spine buster, and that's one of my favorite moves of all time. And Enzo is kind of flailing around, and it looks crappy, and Carl Anderson always hits a great spine buster. Samoa Joe, Chris Jericho, with Joe going over, and then he cuts a promo on Seth Rollins, who's sitting in the commentary. It makes sense for Joe to go over because Chris Jericho, his focus is on Kevin Owens, and he even mentions that in a later promo, which I'll get to. But he cuts this promo where he still brings up Triple H and, the benefactor and all that, and if KO was still on Raw, I'd love a KO, Samoa Joe, Triple H little faction. I think it would be great because then it would give reason for the Shield reunion that they're not teasing on air, but a lot of people are talking about in the internet wrestling community. I don't know if the Shield, because of how much people hate Roman Reigns, I don't know if the Shield angle would work right now. You'd have to take Roman Reigns out of the title picture, which he kind of is, but take him out of the main event picture, take him and keep him off TV for a few months. Let people kind of forget about him. And then one day have Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins being beat down, and out comes Roman, and they do the whole Shield thing at the end. It wouldn't be great TV, but it'd be the best you can get right now. So the Chris Jericho promo that I alluded to earlier, Chris Jericho's talking to Mike Rowe, and it's a typical Jericho promo. It's great. There were kind of some moments that reminded me of something The Rock would do. as far as listening for the fans chanting his name and screwing with the announcer. It was good. It was enjoyable. They pulled a duck season, rabbit season kind of thing with the names. But then you have Elias Sampson strolling through on his guitar. Why? I don't get this character. I don't care for this character. They're just kind of putting him in different places. I mean, he showed up earlier than when Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows were walking to the ring. I get he's a drifter. I get it all. But I don't like it. I don't think it has a place on the main roster. That being said, Kurt Hawkins doesn't have a place in the WWE. He got wrecked by Finn Balor tonight, which, why have Finn Balor come out and fight Kurt Hawkins in, I'd call probably a 46-second match, I could be wrong, and not have a Bray Wyatt kind of promo? I get they're building Bray Randy, but don't give it to me last week and not give it to me this week. Just overall, not a great show, not a bad show. I mean, I still enjoyed watching it. I think I'm always going to enjoy watching Raw. But it just, there were a lot of moments where I went, no. Found myself fast forwarding through certain bits that I just didn't care for. I thought they were stupid. Yeah, I'm tired. It's 11 o'clock at night. Oh, another thing. Here you go. Did anybody else hear the voices talking at the end of the promos to where somebody was just sitting there making everybody's microphone live? We've been doing this show for how long? Get our acts together. Come on. I know some people are going to say Kevin Dunn, and I want to give the guy benefit of the doubt, but then again, he screws us, so who knows. Payback is 13 days away. It is a Raw exclusive pay-per-view. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to happen there that can change the face of Raw, especially with Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho. The Cruiserweight, there we go. I love TJP, Jack Gallagher, Austin Aries, Neville. I love those guys. I think at first I was like, oh, this is just going to be a giant cluster and we're going to have a tag team match. It didn't. And I think the little subtle thing that happened at the end was all right. The whole TJP heel turn, if we're turning him heel, change the music. It's too happy. But I loved TJP, Jack Gallagher in the ring. It was great. The Cruiserweights kind of get dumped on a lot for just being filler matches and not really making sense, but it was good tonight. It was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I liked the whole Gallagher dabbing and then TJP throwing down the umbrella, and they made it fun. They had a good time with it, and I can respect that. With Payback 13 days away, now that I've gotten everything I want to talk about out of the way, 13 days away, it'll be interesting to see how the dynamic changes. We don't have a number one contender officially yet for Brock's Universal title, which scares me and makes me think that Bray is bringing the belt over with him, and then we'll do a lot of cross-promoting, which I don't want to do that either. Makes no sense for the brand split. But it'll be one that changes Raw a lot, I think, and they need to start doing something to bounce back, or SmackDown's going to take over. And while I think all those people deserve it, Raw will always be the number one show, and it needs to stay that way. So, yeah. Please like, share, and subscribe. As always, we're working on getting more content out. We've kind of run out of some stuff. scheduling is tough for us to get some things going. And hopefully, in 13 days, I can reclaim my Intercontinental Predictions title from Chef. That should be a good time. Always check out our live streams and see what we're doing. And remember, Ritz is always right.